talk about next week because I got Brewer games Monday, Tuesday, but I'm thinking Wednesday night we could do our show like normal. Maybe a little later, but we can do it.
All right.
We
So
show
welcome to the.
only one show next week, but we're gonna
Okay.
do it on Wednesday night. All right, I'm
Okay.
ready. We can
Because
talk boxing right off the bat.
so welcome to.
Oh,
Okay. On this 23, glad to have you on this wonderful show. And we have a lot of stuff today. So I found a new platform. It's called MeWe, which is a alternative to Facebook. So we should be good by next week as well. So I'm very happy for this new platform, and that way we don't have to deal with big tech.
we're doing things big around here.
That is correct.
That we are.
Exactly. And there's a boxing match this week and soccer.
Yeah, we got boxing. Big fight this weekend. Big fight this weekend. Where do we start?
Start with the boxing. Let's do that.
Ryan Davis, Gervonta Davis. Somebody's O has got to go this weekend. Big fight. These two have been going. This fight is. We've been waiting for this fight for like 18 months. There's a hydration clause for Ryan Garcia in this. That's what he had to do to get the fight. So usually when somebody does that, they're a little bit scared. It reminds me of like Floyd Mayweather, Juan Manuel Marquez, where Floyd Mayweather had a rehydration clause and broke it. I mean, this one's a little bit different because it's the other side around. So, I mean, it's a little bit different. So, I mean, I guess the question you got to ask yourself is, where are we at going into this fight? The winner of this fight pretty much establishes themselves as the guy at 135 and then needs to move up to 140. And then you got Devin Haney, Lomachenko, and you got Stevenson all there at that weight class. So, I mean, this is pretty much a step-up fight for these two younger guys. Because whoever wins this, I mean, you got to think, like, who am I going to face next? Well, Lomachenko and Haney fight on the 20th. So if Haney wins, Haney and Stevenson are supposed to go at it. Right?
Right.
So the winner of Davis and Gervonta Davis could set up the fight Stevenson. The winner of Haney and Stevenson, we'll say in 2024.
Okay.
So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I'm trying to see the
That's for sure. But that fight is this weekend, and it's on Showtime pay-per-view.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, who's got? I mean, Ryan. I mean, it's a pick 'em for me. I mean, can Ryan Garcia avoid the power of Gervonta Davis? If that happens, then Ryan probably wins. But if Gervonta Davis steps up and does his thing, then most likely the fight goes the other way. So we'll see what happens.
And as a matter of fact, I do have the odds for that fight.
Is Gervonta favored?
Yes, he is. Minus 245.
And what's Ryan Garcia at?
Plus 190.
I don't think it's a bad bet to pick Ryan Garcia. You know, since we're talking no house advantage and everything else, at 190, it's not a bad bet, I think, to think about putting some money on Ryan Garcia for the win at plus 190. Tank is a notorious slow starter. If you can win some early rounds, like the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then you can figure out a way to stay away from the power and win 2 or 3 other rounds. You win 7 rounds, you win 7-5, and you end up winning a fight 115, 113.
Not bad.
I mean, that's the kind of fight I see like Ryan Garcia needing to win the fight would be 115, 113, 116, 112, something like that. Like, or him winning on the cards like 115, 113, you know, like a split decision I could see.
Stuff like that.
Something. Exactly. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, anyways, it'll be an interesting matchup Saturday night, and I'll be seeing it, and we'll go from there.
Right. And do you know what's the cost of the fight? Is it like $69 or something like that?
I'm not paying for it that much. I know. You know, let's just, you know, I got tone vision. I got Anthony P vision. You know, I'll figure it out like the rest of America should. But yeah, I mean, you know, we'll see what happens.
All right. And then you said it's a championship in soccer because it is that around this time where it is.
Well, we're at a champ. We're at the time where we're at the Champions League finals coming up soon, and we have the last 4 teams. We've got Manchester City, the most expensive roster, going up against the defending champions in Real Madrid, right?
Right.
And then we've got 2 Italian teams going against each other in which should be just phenomenal. So an Italian team is guaranteed to get to the finals because it's an all Italian matchup. I mean, which is crazy. We have AC Milan, who's 5th in Serie A right now, and then we have Inter Milan. So it's a battle of Milan. So one team from Milan is going to make the finals. Okay. And then you've got Man City and Real Madrid. And probably the winner of that is probably going to beat whatever of the Milan teams in the end in the finals. I mean, these 2 games with Man City and Real Madrid should be just entertaining football in terms of soccer. So, I mean, it should be good stuff. And those 2 games, the Man City Real Madrid games that you're going to be getting here, that's probably some must-watch soccer. So, if anybody's out there, check it out. All right.
I'll do that, especially I got YouTube TV.
So, let's talk NBA playoffs real quick. The Scott Foster curse got broken. I guess it was due because everybody was probably betting on the Clippers to win that game because of it. So Vegas might have interjected there. The Bucks winning without Giannis. The Lakers losing last night without John Morant. Kind of funny that no guns out, no funds out. He's not playing, and the Grizzlies magically win without their best player. So, I mean, at this point, it's like, what do you do?
Or what do you expect?
Exactly. I mean,
I'm not even watching the 76ers and Nets. I'm more focused on the Kings, Warriors, Suns, and Clippers game. Those are the two I'm looking forward to.
I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to say this. The Warriors will win game 3 against the Kings. That's my prediction.
This is like a must-win. It's like a must-win for them.
They're going to get it done. The Warriors have not been good on the road this year.
Bro, right.
Okay?
That's a fact.
They have not been good on the road.
And Draymond is suspended.
But they have been good at home. So, I mean, I'm going to take the Warriors to win game 3.
So that'll be 2-1 if the Warriors win.
And then game 4, who knows?
Right, because you know that crowd's going to be wild.
Exactly.
And then also, and then the Suns and Clippers, that game is in Los Angeles. You know it's going to be wild. That game's going to be wild.
It's going to be crazy. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I think the Suns should win that series in the end.
Right. It'll be a travesty if they lose this series.
I mean, you got KD and Booker and
Ayton.
Man, you think you would think that the Suns are the better team. But
right,
man, the Clippers probably got a little bit of a better bench. So I mean, it's kind of tough to say.
Right.
At this point. So I mean,
and we wouldn't think, we thought like most of these games would be like very easy, but now you're looking like it's not as you think it is in the Western Conference.
I mean, not at all. I mean, I don't know. I personally don't think that the basketball right now is all that entertaining. I'm sorry, but right now, like, I'm not. There's too much offense, not enough defense. Like it's like they have taken all the defense away, and it's all offense only now. And and then players got injured on charges, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now they want to take away the charge call in the game. People are saying that, well, we should just take that away now and not call charging.
That's stupid.
I mean, I'm sorry, but
that's not basketball.
You are trying to dumb down the game to make it offensively beneficial, and it's a travesty what they're doing to the game right now. It's an absolute travesty. You know, this is why I say that Will Chamberlain's the greatest player of all time. Okay? You know, and Bill Russell's right there with him. Okay? They played in an era when there was only 9 teams in the league and only 108 players. Defense, you had to play defense. Hand checking was allowed. The physicality was of no joke. Every team had a couple Hall of Famers on it. Every team was stacked, even the bad teams. I mean, the Celtics had 7, 8 Hall of Famers on the roster. Okay?
No question about that.
I mean, dude, today's NBA is watered down. Like
for real bad.
Half of Will Chamberlain's career, they only had 108 players in the league. Okay? There's 360 players in the league now. That would be like taking 2 starting fives, take from two playoff teams, and combining them into one team would be like a team back in the 60s. That would be like taking the Suns and the Clippers, starting fives, and forming them together to forming a team. Literally. Take the 6-man 2 from each team. The league is watered down. The talent's watered down. And they made the rules beneficial for television more than anything. Yeah. It's boring. I'm sorry, sad. But I will watch the college game before I watch the NBA game every damn day of the week.
Not even close.
Every day of the week. That's what I will do.
I probably watch pickleball since CBS signs with them. Just for those.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with pickleball. Hey, there are teams out. Hey, there are professional pickleball teams out there now, man.
I believe it.
Yeah.
We do have next week the NFL draft. Can't believe it's going so quick.
I mean, we got the draft next week, and man, so much is going on, and so many rumors.
It's gone very quick.
I mean, let's start even before we get to the draft. Let's talk about rumors.
Okay.
The Vikings want to get rid of Kirk Cousins. The Vikings want to get rid of Dalvin Cook and his $14.4 million salary. That I could see. I can see them trading Dalvin Cook before they would trade Kirk Cousins. That much I can see. Okay?
All right.
I could see them trading Dalvin Cook, eating a little bit of that contract, and then drafting Bijan Robinson. That much I can see in Minnesota happen. Okay? The Niners want to trade Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, I was getting ready to say that. I saw that early.
Okay? So we got that going on. I've heard rumors Aaron Donald getting traded because he's 31 and the Rams aren't going to be in playoff contention anytime soon.
They got to rebuild.
I've heard him associated with the Lions. I've heard. Will Demetrius Hopkins get traded from the Cardinals? There's going to be a team that needs a wide receiver. What's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? Is anything going to happen with Lamar Jackson?
Right.
Speaking of Lamar Jackson, from what I hear, he's been offered a contract with $200 million in guarantees. I don't know how long the contract is. That's what I hear. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm the Ravens, man. That's more than I would be doing. Honestly.
And then I saw a website saying Atlanta will get Lamar Jackson and the Ravens get like a couple of draft picks. I forgot what website it was this afternoon.
I mean, what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers in the end and the Jets? I mean, I think they're close, but here's the thing, right?
All right, I'm paying attention to this.
I think that they're definitely in agreement on this year's second round pick, okay?
All right.
But for 2024, the Packers want a first round pick. And the Jets are like, nope, we're not going to do it. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? Look at what happened this year with the Rams and the Lions. The Rams sucked. And the Lions now got the Rams number 6 pick overall. And what happens if the Jets suck next year? Then the Packers could have a top 10 pick for a 41-year-old quarterback.
You out your mind.
I can see. I've seen everything from the Jets giving up pick 13 in the draft and the Jets getting Aaron Rodgers in a third-round pick. That seems a little more believable, but I don't see the Jets giving up a first-round pick at all.
Okay, that's impossible.
I see something along the lines of this year's second, next year's second, and that's it. At some point, I'm going to say this. The other thing is that the league wants this thing handled.
Right, before the schedule
May 12th. Before May 12th. Okay? Because that's when the schedule comes out. You're not going to give the Jets a ton of primetime games if they don't have Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
And do you really think the Packers want to sit there with a $68 million sitting on the bench and Aaron Rodgers?
No way.
They're not going to want to eat that. I don't care how desperate they are, but they're not going to want to eat that. So I think you got to ask yourself at this point, what's relevant? Okay? I think 2 seconds for a 40-year-old quarterback is pretty damn good. Now, the Packers should have got rid of him the year earlier.
Sure.
When he wasn't tied to that massive contract. Because then the team that traded for him could have made their own contract with him and been settled, and the Packers would have never been in this situation of wanting to get rid of him or having him. The Packers could have gotten, when he was hot, could have gotten 3 first-round picks. They could have gotten more than what the Broncos gave up for Russell Wilson at that point. But they decided, you know what? And usually the Packers are one of those teams that, they're going to get rid of a guy a year earlier rather than a year too late and endure it. And in this case, they didn't, and it kind of cost them here. As weird as it sounds. So, I mean, you got to ask yourself at this point, what's going to happen here in the end? I mean, if you don't see something by Friday night, then I essentially think that you've got 9 to 10 days to get this done.
Right.
because the schedule comes out on the 12th. The league could push it back to the 19th, but they can't go like a whole hell of a lot further because they got to start getting people into season ticket plans and start figuring out
Yeah,
travel. At some point, you got to like, if it ain't going to happen, then you can't give the Jets and the Packers because you don't know which way it's going to roll.
exactly.
And I think at some point you got to be like,
we got to get this done ASAP.
I mean, I think they're in agreement at least 1 second-round pick, and I think the second pick, the Packers want a 1, and the Jets are like, nope, but we'll give you a 2. If I'm Green Bay, you can't really be in a position not to take it. If you're Green Bay, unless there's something that deals with the salary cap, right? Then you might as well just take the deal, take 2 2s, and run. And maybe you can get Corey Davis also. Because that would give them a veteran wide receiver to pair with the picks. And the Jets might be willing to get rid of them because it takes $10 million off their cap, right?
Yeah.
And then the Packers can negotiate something with Corey Davis to lower that cap hit but make the money guaranteed. Because that $10 million, Corey Davis is on a contract for $10 million, but none of it's guaranteed. I mean, Corey Davis is probably a guy that's good enough to easily get a $6 million contract, guaranteed, right? So you might as well just here, we'll give you $6 million, fully guaranteed. Save for you got a veteran wide receiver to pair with Dobbs and Watson, and you could draft a guy. And then you got Torrey, and you got somebody else, and there you go. I mean, you got to make decisions at some point.
Right.
It's got to happen.
Or else the NFL will step in and say, look, you got to get this done before we release that schedule.
Well, I mean, it comes to a point where,
and then the flex scheduling, of course. But we don't even know if they're going to be nationally televised or not. And if they did, they'll probably be on Thursday Night Football as of right now. But if Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, then I can see them getting televised 5 or 6 times or something like that, depending on the flex scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
And then I also want to see where Bryce, what's that quarterback? Bryce Young's going to be drafted at. Because I know Carolina's going to select a QB. I know that's for sure.
Well, we know Carolina's going to take probably Bryce Young at 1. I honestly think the Texans are taking a defensive player at 2.
Because they'll probably wait for next year. And then because you said next year is going to be a way better quarterback class than this year's.
I think the Texans are going to take a defensive player. I don't think Davis Mills is that bad of a player. I think they're going to roll with him. I do. I think it's the Davis Mills show this year. You're not going to put a quarterback in and play him with that receiving core in Houston. Nope. Davis Mills is going to be your guy. You'll suck. And then if you're the worst team in the league, you can draft Caleb Williams with the top pick in 2020 in the 2024 draft. I mean, That's the way I look at it. Is the Texans are planning on sucking, and then they're going to go from there.
Right. And I can see them taking. By matter of fact, I can see them tanking. I can see the Bears tanking because they got a lot of salary cap.
I mean, I just do not see it. I see the Texans at 2 taking a defensive or trying to trade the pick down. That is what I see.
Okay. Now, do you see any other teams that's going to be trading before the draft?
I think the Seahawks are going to take a defensive player at 5.
They do need defense.
I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Right. I want to see what San Francisco does with Trey Lance. See if they're going to make any trades.
I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. That is for sure. I mean, I think that Trey Lance could go to a team that's, looking for a guy they could develop. I think a team like Tennessee could be an ideal fit for Trey Lance. I believe one of his former coordinators from the 49ers is there. It's the last year of Ryan Tannehill.
Is he like an offensive coordinator?
Yeah, something of that variety. I mean, I can see Tennessee I can see Tennessee taking a chance on Trey Lance. I don't know if they're going to give up the 11th pick for him. I could see them giving up like a second-round pick, though, for Trey Lance. That much I can see happening.
I'm looking them up.
So I can see like a second-round pick, and then that way the Titans can get a wide receiver at 11 because that's something that they need. They need a wide receiver.
Oh, yeah. Tim Kelly.
They need a wide receiver in the worst way.
Okay. Because I'm looking at Tim Kelly. It doesn't say anything about 49ers. It does say about Houston Texans.
There's somebody on that staff or involved in the management or the GM or something like that. They've got 49ers connections.
Okay. Let me type that. Because I'm pretty sure there is somebody, like you said, in that let's see. It is, let me see, Rand Carton. If I'm saying his name
right. Maurice Carton?
I don't know if I'm saying his right name. Carton?
Maurice Carton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to play for the 49ers.
Okay, so he was the player in person. He was the director of player personnel and director of pro personnel of the 49ers. Because right now he's the general manager of the Titans. So you were right. Because there was somebody when you said, I said, who's it?
That's why I think I can see, something realistic here. What? I have no idea. That's the question.
Never know.
That's a good question. The answers I don't know. But I mean,
until we see it.
we'll definitely find out and definitely see what ends up happening with that team. That's for sure. With that, I mean, there's only one way to go with that. So I mean, there's tons of rumors. I mean, as we've been, as we've said on this show for months, you know, we feel that CJ Stroud's going to be a bust, and I see this dude just falling down the draft charts. I really do. I think once he's not taken by the Texans at 4, hey, if somebody doesn't trade up after 4 to take him, Seattle doesn't need a quarterback at 5. I don't think the Lions are going to take him at 6. That leaves the Raiders at 7. Now, the Raiders don't take CJ Stroud at 7. We could be seeing a free fall. Hey, let's remember this. Dwayne Haskins was like projected to go somewhere in that top 5 range, and he fell all the way to 15 to Washington. Okay? I think you could be seeing that kind of fall with CJ Stroud. I really do. I think if he doesn't go to Indy at 4, I think he could be taking a deep fall in the draft. And let's just pray that the Lions don't take him at 6. God forbid. God forbid. Don't need that headache at 6. Now, I'm going to say this. If Anthony Richardson's there at 6, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a problem with that pick. Because the athleticism and the upside is just crazy with him. If you can sit him down and develop him for 2 years and get that passing game, my goodness. I mean, he could be like Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson combined on steroids. That's I mean, the athleticism is just unparalleled. And then you have all the weapons around him too, and you're saving all that money on the cap.
Right.
I mean, it's scary to think about, Shawn. It's scary to think about what could be if done properly with that team. I mean, I would not have a problem with the Lions drafting Richardson at 6. I would have a problem drafting Stroud at 6 because I think he's peaked. I just don't see any upside in him. I don't. I'm sorry. He's a bust. He's going to be an NFL bust. He's like there's 2 guys in this draft that I would not touch. Okay?
Okay, CJ Stroud is one of them.
CJ Stroud and the tight end from Notre Dame, Meyer. I would not touch either guy if it was me. Just not going to happen. And the Lions do not need to draft the tight end in round 1.
That would be stupid.
You don't. You do not need to draft the guy, not at 6 and not at 18. Now, if you feel your guy is there like at the bottom of round 1 and you want to trade up to like 30 so you can get that extra year of club control, okay, I can understand that. But I'm not going any further than like bottom round 1 for a tight end. I mean, unless he's Tony Gonzalez or Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce, and I know I'm guaranteed that they're going to be of some super high quality, it ain't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So
In other words, it's a unicorn.
Yes, unless I know I'm getting a top 5 elite tight end, the unicorn, more or less, it ain't going to happen. And plus, the Lions' offense, the way it's built, they don't throw the ball to the tight end a lot.
Right. They
I
really
mean,
don't.
So I don't see where it's a huge priority to get a tight end in the first round when there's this draft actually has some good tight ends that are going to be there in round 2. I could see a tight end getting drafted in round 2, but you want to know something? I actually like the Lions tight ends right now. I like James Mitchell. I like Zylstra. I like Dykstra. I like their tight ends that they got right now. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't have a problem with them not drafting a tight end in this draft or drafting one later that has some promise. Like, I'm not, I don't need a first-round tight end. I think the Lions got bigger needs on the defensive line, linebacker, and corner.
Yeah.
And you probably use a very fast, speedy wide receiver, a deep threat. That's the one thing. You got Jameson Williams, but I think you kind of need another deep threat. Like Marvin Jones is great for 1 year for being that possession guy, but you kind of lost a little bit of that element with losing DJ Shark. Because DJ Shark was a guy that could come and extend the field. And now you kind of lost that element. When Shark was healthy, he wasn't bad. I mean, had he played a full season and wasn't hurt, he was probably like a 60 for 800 kind of a guy. And he can extend the field. And don't get me wrong, Marvin Jones is a good receiver, but he's a different kind of receiver. You're not going to be sending Marvin Jones for deep routes, okay?
All right.
You're going to be sending Marvin Jones for 10 and 15-yard intermediate routes. Slants across the middle, stuff like that. You're not, So a wide receiver with some speed. I mean, Quintez Cephas, he's probably not going to make the roster. Okay?
All right.
I mean, Tom Kennedy, maybe if he's on special teams. Trinity Benson, probably not making this roster. Okay?
We're supposed to be cutting people.
I mean, those guys probably aren't going to make the team and have seen their better days. I think Tom Kennedy's probably a guy because he's gritty and stuff and he's a gamer. I can see that kind of guy, being a practice squad guy, and then somebody gets hurt, he gets the call up, kind of like he's been. And then you got Khalif Raymond, who will probably make the team, and he's a solid 4 guy. I think you need one more wide receiver the wide receiver room's kind of deep. You got St. Brown, and you got Jameson Williams, right? And then you've got Josh Reynolds, you've got Marvin Jones, you got Khalif Raymond. I think you need one more guy. You need one more guy to kind of fill that out. And then I think you're good. Now, I don't know what that's going to be, if it's going to be a draft pick, but it needs to be somebody that is fast, that has some burners on them, that might have some special teams type of capability also. Somebody who can be a field extender, but also could have some special teams capabilities. So like I said, you got your underneath guys in Marvin Jones and St. Brown, and even Khalif Raymond to some point, but you need somebody with some afterburners at this point, some jets, that you can put into the game that has some serious wheels on them. And, they may not be that guy this year in terms of being a a starter, but it's somebody you like, with a full year of coaching, they could develop into a starter. Like a KJ Osborne kind of a guy, who can extend the field and go deep and get touchdowns and stuff. I mean, I think that's the kind of guy that, you're kind of looking for. You need, and then you do that, then you're probably good. And then, this draft to me is you need for the Lions, D tackle definitely needs to be upgraded. So you got D tackle. You probably need another linebacker drafted. Well, it depends. Depends.
Okay. Oh, it depends on who's available.
Yeah, if you're not going to end up drafting a first-round quarterback, then
corner. I said corner.
Oh, corner. I think you're going to see a corner get drafted within the first 3 rounds, no doubt. You might even, you could see one at 6, you could see one at 18, you could see one at 48, you could see one at 55. The one thing I will say is that out of the first 4 picks in the draft, we're making a trade of some kind. I guarantee you we will not just sit there at 6, 18, 48, and 55. Okay? That will not happen. Like, I could see us drafting at 6, right?
Right.
And then I can see us taking like 18 and 48 and moving up. I could see it happening. Or 18, 48, and 55 and moving up and getting into the top 10. I could see that too. I mean, I just don't see Brad Holmes just sitting there and not doing nothing with those picks. There's going to be some kind of movement. I don't know if that means we're going to take the 6th pick and move up. I could see us working out a trade with the Colts, though.
Oh yeah, Colts do need some picks.
So I could see us going trading pick 6 and like a 3rd round pick, okay, and going from 6 to 4, okay. I could see that and jumping over Seattle and getting a defensive player. Because the Seahawks need a D lineman bad. They could take.
It's awful.
They need a D tackle that but then you got Tyree Wilson there. I mean, if you got the Colts at 4, okay, and and if Wilson and Carter are both on the board when the Colts are up the pick, then most likely the Colts are taking a quarterback, and you're going to get Wilson or Carter. Then the Lions, I think, are going to stay put at 6, okay? But if like Anderson and Wilson get picked 2 and 3, or in some order like that, and Carter's the only one there, I mean, Carter won't get past 5 at that point. It just won't happen. I honestly think you're going to see 3 defensive linemen taken in the top 5. And it's going to be Bryce Young, those 3 defensive linemen, and probably a quarterback. I'll be honest with you. I won't be shocked if the Colts took Anthony Richardson at 4 and left C.J. Stroud to dangle downward. Now, I think C.J. Stroud could drop all the way to 11 to the Titans. I really do. Because the Bears drafted 9, the Eagles drafted 10, don't need a quarterback. The Falcons are sticking with Desmond Ridder. So there's 8. So put it like this: if CJ Stroud's there at 7, and then the Raiders pass, or they take Will Levis at 7. I mean, he's fallen to 11. Then you got to ask yourself with the Titans: do I take CJ Stroud knowing that Ryan Tannehill has 1 year left on his contract? Now, let me say this. The Titans don't have any weapons as far as the passing game goes. So you could lame duck it, draft Stroud, let him sit for a year, let him learn. And then when Ryan Tannehill becomes a free agent, you can go get some weapons and put them out there. And you could call 2023 a lame duck year. But as far as I say, that's kind of a sign of just giving up and you telling your fan base, like, yeah, we got Derrick Henry. We could probably win the AFC South, but the Jaguars are there now. We kind of had our shot for about 3 or 4 years to do something. It didn't happen. We're in the terms of a rebuild. Ryan Tannehill ain't going to be the answer long term.
Oh, we know.
So so at this point, it's like, what do you do?
Right, because right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville was a big heavy favorite to win the AFC South.
Well, they probably are the favorite. Jacksonville is definitely the favorites to win the AFC South. Definitely the favorites. I mean, what does Jacksonville need? They need offensive linemen. That's what they need in Jacksonville. They need offensive linemen. Okay? They don't need the skill position. They need offensive linemen, D-tackle. They could use another pass rush. They need linebackers. They could use some secondary. They need offensive and defensive linemen. And they need defense. They need a lot of defense. And they need to be able to stop the run. That's like their big thing. They can't stop the run, but they can't stop the pass. So they need a whole bunch of defense, and then they need offensive linemen. They've got the skill positions. They got tight end, wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. They need defense and offensive linemen. They do that, they're good. You got one DN, so you need another DN. You need some D tackles. You need linebackers. You need corners. They're going to probably draft a lot of defense this draft.
Which they should.
They're the type of team this draft that I can see they got to pick at the bottom of like round 1, right? Like 22, something like that. I can see them trading down and racking up like a whole bunch of like second and third round picks and increasing the value of those so they can get a whole bunch of defensive guys to fill all these gaps and holes on their defense in rounds 2 and 3. So I can see them being the type of team to trade out, maybe even trade out of the first round. That's where I could see Jacksonville. But we'll see. All right, player prop time.
All right. New for those of you who are watching, by the way, sign up at No House Advantage, and you can sign up at No House Advantage by using promo code S4A to get an instant match deposit up to $100. And make sure you check to see the state that you live in that you are eligible to play No House Advantage. All right, so here's the first one. It'll be in 5 minutes. Joel Embiid, 30.5 points.
Sure, why not?
All right. Next one, Steph Curry, 5 3-pointers. Because this is
probably needed to win, so yes.
All right. And then from Sacramento, it is I didn't put it in the whatchamacallit, De'Aaron Fox, 26.5 points from Sacramento, because he's been turning up this regular season.
I'll say no for this game.
Okay, even though he's been playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very sad that we haven't talked about Sacramento so far this past season. That's they're pretty amazing.
Well, that's because Draymond Green thought Sabonis was the Lloyd Carr tunnel.
Right.
What's up, buddy?
Exactly. That's a great example. All right. So so we will see you guys on Wednesday before Cornelius Cole show, because next Thursday is the draft.
So we're not going to be doing a show Tuesday next week because I'll be at the Brewer Tiger game.
Exactly. So we will see you guys Thursday.
We'll be doing a Wednesday show before the other show. Exactly.
Which is a great idea. So we will see you guys on Wednesday.
Wednesday it is.